What's up, everybody, man? It's your boy, Mr. Dugas, coming at y'all with another live stream, man. You go ahead. It's my live Q&A. Y'all could go on, ask me anything. NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NCAA football, basketball, anything else besides sports. If you feel like it, go ahead and shoot for it. Kind of quick recap on this week in sports, man. Obviously everybody played their first preseason game. No real big injuries to name about except for my Eagles. Nate Sudfeld had broken his wrist. What's going on, boys from D, man? Appreciate the follow. Keep doing your thing on the channel. You also, yo. Gravy, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel and the live feed. Yeah, man. A lot of teams didn't play their big time players at all, pretty much, yo. Now, granted, we know how you know uh players don't play too much in preseason, but they hardly played at all, yo. Let's see, dirty hit on Sudfeld. Yeah, it was real bad, man. Like it was bad, bro. I mean, it was well after he threw the football, yo. The guy just come there, just basically shoves him to the ground, man. Completely unnecessary, man. Prayers for Sudfield. Obviously now it's become a big debate on should we go out there and get another backup quarterback. There's Colin Kaepernick. There's Sam Bradford. But the thing is with Sudfeld though is he is expected to be back in 6 weeks. So I don't think we necessarily got to move forward and really get another quarterback in. God forbid that if Carson Wentz does get a little dinged up the first few weeks, that we got to throw Cody Kessler out there. But I mean, I think we're gonna be all right, man. What's up, playoff skins? How you doing? I'm ready for y'all week one. I heard the Eagles moving to Canada. Yeah, you wish we moved to Canada so you don't get that butt whipping on week one. I understand, yo. Let's see, Kaepernick. I mean, yeah, man. Obviously, as far as his skill set and his talented, but the only thing is, man, I don't really think that we're gonna go in that direction because obviously a lot of fans will have a problem with that. Unfortunately, you know. Let's see. What's Marquise W? What's good, man? Fly Eagles fly. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, man. What's the deal with Dak Prescott wanting $40 million from the Dallas Cowboys, man? If I was running the Cowboys, which I'm not obviously, and he came in my office, hey man, can I get 40 million? After I offered him 30, I said, you know what? I tell you what, you have a nice day. We're gonna draft a rookie next year. And see if you're gonna get 40 or 30 million for any other team next season. That lets me know he really either delusional or like he know he ain't all that, so this gonna be his last chance to really hit on the contract, yo. Like nah, he done lost his mind, man. 40 mil, nah. Name two teams from the NFC. Oh, no, let's see. Name two teams from the NFC and AFC that you think is gonna regress this year. In the NFC, I think the Chicago Bears are gonna take a little bit of a step back. I know a lot of people are really hyped, especially around this rookie running back they got, who looked really good out there, by the way. I just felt like them losing Vic Fangio, man. I know they still got some personnel over there, obviously, but I look at a team. I think Green Bay is gonna like do a lot better this year. So I think the Chicago gonna take a little bit of a step back. As far as another team in the NFC, uh, that's a tough one. I tell you what, if Dallas don't bring Ezekiel Elliott in there, they gonna take a huge step back. Yo, and in the AFC, I think the Baltimore Ravens take a little bit of a step back. I do like the signing of Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas, but I think they take a little bit of a step back, man. I know he looked good in the preseason. I'm just not a huge believer in Lamar Jackson right now. And another team in the AFC that I think could take a little bit of a step back, man. Not a huge step, but I think the Chiefs will take a little step back just because I actually think the Chargers are going to win the AFC West this season. So in the NFC, man, I'll go Bears. I'll go Bears and I'll go Bears and what's the other team I said? Bears and Cowboys. Yeah, if they don't get Zeke, and then the AFC, yo, like I said, I'll say the Baltimore Ravens, and I'll say the Chiefs just a little bit, take a little bit of a step back, yo. How are my guy Miles doing? Miles Sanders, he and he just we didn't see too much of him in the preseason though, cause he didn't get much of a run. You only had like 2 carries and he didn't have a hole, so he didn't get too much of any play out there. Yeah, man, Dak Dak is insane, man. When I seen that, man, I almost fell out of my seat, man. Cause me personally, I don't believe he should get 30. But I mean, Dallas, obviously, Dallas fans and their organization likes Dak Prescott a lot more than I do. So they decide, like, well, we're gonna give him 30, which I believe he should have took that and ran with it. But he up there talking about he want 40, like, nah, bro. Like, if Dallas gives Dak Prescott 35 million, bro, y'all be on the lookout of the video I'll do, bro. I'm gonna try my best to keep it clean, but be on the watch for the video I'll do, yo. That I will just have a field day with that if Dak Prescott gets $35 million, yo. What's up, Savage Batman? Appreciate you tuning into the live. Cowboys can't pay everyone, and that's the truth. Yeah, you right. Like I said, they're in a tough spot though, honestly, because obviously Ezekiel Elliott is the player that makes that whole offense go. But the problem with Zeke is, he has some off the field issues. And I think Dallas is kind of looking into that and saying, okay, you be cutting up already. So if we give you an extra, 16, 17 million, how much more you gonna cut up? That's the problem they in. Then it's like Dak Prescott, which I felt like they already went above and beyond to compensate him by offering him 30 million. You got a quarterback who, is okay for y'all, but he's not really a great quarterback. So do you pay him great quarterback money if that's what he's asking for? Me personally, if I was Dallas, I'll let him play out this year. Especially the fact I already offered him 30. Look, man, you're gonna take this 30 or you're gonna be a free agent because you're not getting $30 million for no other team in the NFL. And as far as Cooper, man, Cooper is a solid, really good receiver, but is he an elite receiver though? So that's the problem, man, with them. So they're in a tough spot, man. As an Eagles fan, obviously I love it. I love to see my rivals be a little miserable. But that's a really tough spot that they're in, man. If it was up to me, I'll just swallow my pride and pay Zeke. Give Cooper solid money and Dak. I mean, take it or leave it, bro. Or next year we'll go get a rookie quarterback with this offensive line. I got my receiver, I got my running back, I got my defense, and we ready to roll. That's how I would look at it. What's up, Malik Baker? How you doing, my brother? Fly Eagles fly all day, yo. I could tell you from Louisiana. So explain why you not a Saints fan, rather be an Eagles fan. That's a good question, man. Obviously, man, when I was younger, um, the Saints had a franchise, before Drew Brees got there. A lot of people don't realize that, but when I was younger, man, they had guys like Billy Joe Holbert, Billy Joe Tolliver, Heath Schuler, Jim Everett. The Saints were terrible. My daddy is a diehard Saints fan, but I would watch college football, man, and they had this guy named Donovan McNabb who I just became a huge fan of the way he played. And when he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, I just rolled with him ever since, man. That been my squad, man. Tough days I had where we came up real close but fell short. And that Super Bowl a couple of years ago, man, was just spectacular, yo. But now the Saints, when the Saints went to the Super Bowl, I pulled for them just for the simple fact I wanted my dad to experience his team winning the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's how I became an Eagles fan. The Saints were just terrible when I was young. And the Donovan McNabb went to the Eagles. I was a big fan of him at Syracuse, so and I just adopted them ever since, yo. Let's see. Chiefs are dependent on Mahomes. Yeah, they are, yo. I'm kind of a little suspect about their run game too, man. I know Williams did a good job when he stepped in for Kareem Hunt last season, but he doesn't seem like the back that could really, do a lot of damage for a whole season. And Carlos Hyde has kind of been a disappointment in the NFL so far. Now let's see how he do this. Obviously, gonna be the most talented team he's ever participated on. But I think they just take a little step back. I think they still be good and put up points. I do like the rookie receiver they got from Georgia, but I just don't think that they are just going into the season, even with the Melvin Gordon situation that's going on with them. Let's see. What's up, Roger Platt Jr.? Appreciate you checking out the live feed. Do you think the Browns will live up to the hype? Not as far as like making it to the Super Bowl. I think no way they make it to the Super Bowl. But I do think the Browns will win the AFC North, man. They got that's just a lot of talent they have over there. When you think about, Baker Mayfield, who had a really good rookie season, Odell Beckham Jr., one of the best receivers in the league, Jarvis Landry, a really, really good receiver. They're gonna have Kareem back with them toward the end of the season. Um, Miles Garrett, just a terror on that defensive line. Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. I think they're gonna win the AFC North. Now I don't think they're quite ready to compete for a Super Bowl, but I do like them to win the AFC North division this year. So the people that's hyping them up for division, I think is pretty solid. But the people that's trying to say like, oh, the Browns can win the Super Bowl this year, I think that's a bit much, yo. Let's see. What's going on, Dwayne RTR? How you doing, man? Appreciate you checking back in with the live feed. I've been liking the Eagles since Michael Vick was our quarterback, and I'm a huge Vick fan. Yeah, and Vick was the man back in the day. It used to frustrate me, man, because when I would play against the Falcons back, like what that was like Madden '04 when he was on the cover, man, everybody played with Michael Vick, man. And I mean Vick just his speed on there was like a created player's speed. And it was just hard to defend people playing with Michael Vick, man. But he was a transcender, man. I loved when he came to the Eagles. He came obviously with a lot of controversy and a lot of baggage. But I love how he rehabilitated his life. And he was a positive role model after all the very bad things he did with the dog fighting. And he's as a guy that I think if he wouldn't have got in trouble, man, he would have been even more of a icon. But he was a big time player to watch, man. And obviously he was kind of like the Allen Iverson of the NFL, yo. Appreciate it, J Will 501. Appreciate you tuning into the live feed. What do you think the Ravens record will be this season? Uh I think they struggle a little bit, man. I'm gonna probably have to go with like I'm gonna probably say like 6-10 or 7-9, man. I just though I know he's looked good in the preseason so far, I just don't really think that I'm not a big huge believer in Lamar Jackson yet, man. When you consider like I don't really like the receivers like that. I know they got Hollywood Brown in from the draft. Losing Crabtree was a nice red zone threat they had. I do like their tight ends. I like the pickup of Ingram. They lost C.J. Mosley also. They lost Terrell Suggs. I think they'll be around 7-9, man, this season for them. But we'll see, yo. But that's just what I believe they'll be. Was appreciated Brian Dennis Stadium tuning into the live feed. Tell me how did the Eagles get Cap to sign? Oh, hold on. Get Cap to sign a lot of free agents this summer. Like, bro, how are we really managing the Brooks correctly? Howie is a genius, man, as far as the numbers and running the cap. Because there was a couple of signings where I was like, man, can we afford them? like, but we did be able to afford those guys. He's just great at crunching the numbers. Not to mention, man, we got guys like Zach Ertz that has taken pay cuts. Zach Ertz is very underpaid for the Eagles, but he kept taking pay cuts, so it allowed us to create enough cap space to sign the players that we signed, yo. Oh yeah, don't get nervous now. We coming for you week one, yo. What's up? Oklahoma versus Texas. I think I'll go Oklahoma that game, man. Oklahoma has a lot of talent, yo, a whole lot of talent, man. Now, obviously, Texas is a very good team. Also, I'm just a little worried about them on the line of scrimmage. So, I think I'll take Oklahoma in that game, yo. What's what's up, Jamal Parker, man? That's my cousin, y'all. One of my favorite cousins right there. Prescott wants 40 million. Yeah, man. I was just talking about that earlier on the live feed, man. If I was Jerry Jones in Dallas, as soon as he walked into my office asking for 40 million, I would have been okay, Dag, have a nice day. We're gonna get a rookie quarterback. Let's see if anybody else in the NFL go even give you 30 for that matter, yo. He off the chain, man. He really think that he's better than what he really is. Yo, like I almost fell out my chair when I seen that, man. That's hilarious, yo. But I'm glad that's Dallas' problem though. What's up, Irish Panther? Appreciate you tuning back into the live feed. Do you consider Georgia Tech I didn't get the rest of your question, man. You have to probably type your question back in again. Let's see. But Crabtree sucked for the Ravens. I mean, yeah, he wasn't as good for them as he was with the Raiders, but he was a nice red zone threat though. And I think he will be missed by them. And I'm surprised nobody picked him up yet. What's up, Tiger Raven 18 2018? Appreciate you tuning back into the live feed. I grew up in a family that is divided in two football rivalries: Clemson versus Georgia and Ravens versus Steelers. Ooh, that Ravens versus Steelers, it must get really interesting, man, when they play, because I know that's already a nasty rivalry already. And then to be right in the middle of that, I'm sure that gets pretty live and hyped up and interested in that household, man. That seems like that's very exciting there. And for me, obviously being an Eagles fan in Louisiana, I go up against a lot of Saints fans. You know, the thing with us, we played twice last year. They got us in the playoffs, but we don't play too often. But for Ravens, Steelers, like in the same household, that heated of a rivalry, like yeah, that's that's what's up, man. Like that should be pretty interesting and pretty fun in their household, yo. Let's see. Do you think we should trade Big V? Ah, that's a great question. I'm kind of on the fence with that one. I say yeah because I say yeah simply because I think we could get a mid round pick for him. A lot. He's a very versatile lineman. Obviously, he could play right tackle. He could play left tackle. And right now, we got him playing as a guard. But the reason I think we hold on to him is because now if we get something serious for him, then yeah. But I think we hold on to him for the simple fact that Brandon Brooks isn't quite 100% yet coming off of that Achilles injury. And I know we got Wisniewski back, but I think, I like Big V's, to his experience to go in there at right guard in case Brandon Brooks can't play. Now, if we get a decent pass rusher in return, or like let's say like a third round pick, then I say go for it. But anything short of that, I think, with the potential issues with Brandon Brooks recovering from his Achilles, I think we should hold on to him, yo. Let's see. Passionation. Yeah, man. I know you and your Patriots, man. But I tell you what, November 17th, Eagles Patriots, man. Best believe it is on. And best believe we watching that game together, my cousin. Best believe I cannot wait for that Eagles Patriots game, yo. Seriously, the Braves need to get a bullpen if we're gonna beat the Dodgers. Gotta give props to Ozzy and Acuna for all those greats. Man, Saturday night, man, had me so furious, yo. Like, I just was watching that, man, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching, man. Not only did we blow a 4-run lead against the Marlins, like, I just couldn't believe that at all, man. And it's so bad because Snit is trying everybody. Like Snit is trying everybody, and everybody we throw out there can't get the job done. Now, shout out to one of my followers the other day. I wish I remembered his name to give him a shout out, yo. If you watching the live feed, please post your name. He said that we should consider putting Fulton Neves as our closer, yo. And I don't think that's quite a bad idea. Um, Obviously we not gonna do it now because you know he's our fourth slash fifth starter. But I think when we get into the postseason, you know, we could roll with the big four as far as, you know, Keuchel, Turan, Soroka, and Freed. And we could put Forte. Forte could be the closer, man. I would like to try Forte out as at the closing position. That's assuming these guys that we have now haven't figured it out by then. But yeah, I would like to see Forte get a shot at closing if Green, Melanson, you know, Jackson and Allen are still out there just giving us heart attacks every time that we got a lead in the ninth inning. Let's see. The Redskins can't make it to Philly week one. Is something wrong with our bus? I think we gotta reschedule. Y'all might want to do that, man, for that whipping we trying to put on y'all week one, man. Cause we trying to come out and make a statement. Better yet, who are y'all gonna start at quarterback, man? Are y'all gonna go with McCoy, Keenum, or Haskins? Me personally, I think y'all should roll Haskins out there and just let him get his feet wet, let him get that experience. It's gonna do. I mean, obviously Keenum and McCoy ain't the answers. You know, I think I would love to see us go up against Haskins week one, man, because I think he's a very talented quarterback, and I think, you know, and I want to see how my boy Darius Geis do coming back, yo. If he could get some receivers in the future, you know, they could have a solid little team there, yo, going forward. But I think week one, it's a whipping in the making. I'm in Arkansas. My dad always catch heat for being an LSU fan. Man, I actually went to Arkansas like a few years ago. I went on some business up there, and I spent like a couple of weeks up there. And like I had a LSU. It was in the wintertime, so I had a LSU hoodie on. And man, like those people up there in Arkansas gave me a hard time, man. Like I know it's a rivalry and I know we battle for the boot, but I didn't realize like how much Arkansas fans really hated LSU, yo. That caught me by surprise, man. It's kind of like how LSU feels about, you know, Alabama and Auburn and those and you know Florida and those teams, but man, Arkansas fans really hate LSU up there. So I know your dad is really getting grief up there because I experienced it myself in just 2 weeks I was up there. Carson versus Brady. Finally, I know I cannot wait to see this matchup, yo. I'm really looking forward to seeing Wentz go out there against Brady. You know, it's at a good time. I think it's like week 11. Both teams are actually going to be coming off of a bye week. We at home. You know, I just feel like Wentz is going to be really great this season, man. Coming off of that injury, yo, I just really think he's going to really do his thing and stay healthy. And I cannot wait to see him take the field against Tom Brady. Alabama loses Joshua McMillan at inside linebackers. Couldn't afford that. Let's see. Now it's Dylan Moses and a number two guy. That one hurts. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that injury, yo. That is a tough one. But the thing about Alabama, man, is Alabama just has depth everywhere. Like as y'all well know, I don't like y'all. I can't stand y'all. But y'all big time, man. I mean, every year is like a player leaves, and I'm like, phew, we ain't got to play him no more. In comes another guy. Not only another guy that may even potentially be better than the last guy. So I'm pretty sure the linebacker that they throw out there may have some growing pains early, but playing on side of Dylan Moses and playing in that Nick Saban, because that Nick Saban tutelage, I think whoever they put out there gonna be all right, yo. Let's see. I can't wait to go to Ravens versus Patriots game in November at M&T Bank Stadium. Ooh, that's a good game to attend, yo. You gonna have a lot of fun at that one. Also seeing Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna be interested to see how Belichick schemes for Lamar Jackson, yo. It's always interesting to see how Bill schemes for unique, different type of players. So that's a really good chess matchup to see how the defensive approach he takes to go up against Lamar Jackson. That's a really good game to see, man. Anytime you get to see like your team play, especially going up against a legend like Tom Brady, you know, that's a good ticket to have, yo. I'm ready to see how Florida does with Dan Mullen. I also hope they beat Georgia to win the East so we could play them in Atlanta. You know, it's so crazy. Like, they actually have a game next Saturday. They got the week zero matchup with LSU, no LSU, with Florida versus Miami is next Saturday. So I'm pretty sure we all gonna be tuning into the TV just to get a good look to see how Florida looks out there. But Florida has a real chance to challenge Georgia, man. I love Dan Mullen as a head coach. I really like Ty Grantham as a defensive coordinator. So I'm looking forward to that Georgia Florida matchup too. That's one of the SEC games that I had circled, to check that out. You're right, Dwayne. That does hurt a bit. Yeah, that's a tough loss, but I think Alabama gonna be all right. You got something against Florida? I mean, hey, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Conru girl. Hey, how you doing, Conru girl? Appreciate you tuning into the live. Definitely appreciate the support. Let's see. Hey, late to the live. Did you explain how a Louisiana guy can be an Eagles fan? I did, but I'll explain it again. When I was younger, the Saints were like before Drew Brees. They actually had a franchise, and I know it's been suns and rainbows since Drew Brees has been the quarterback over there, but they was terrible when I was a kid, man. You had the Billy Joe Holbers, Billy Joe Tollivers, the Heat Schulers. Like it was just bad. So seeing my daddy cussing at the TV every Sunday. And I was watching Syracuse in college, yo. And they had this quarterback named Donovan McNabb, who I was a big fan of the way he played, yo. And he got drafted by the Eagles, and ever since he got drafted by the Eagles, I basically been a Eagles fan ever since, yo. Like I said, I'm around a lot of Saints fans. Obviously, my dad is like the biggest diehard Saints fan you probably will ever know. But that's how I became an Eagles fan. Oh, excuse me, down here in Saints country. Excuse me. Let's see. Yep, a large majority of Arkansas is Razorback and Cowboy fans. Since Jerry Jones is from here, I always had problems from Cowboys fans. Everybody got problems with Cowboy fans, man. They one of a kind, man. The thing with them is they win a little 2, 3 games in a row. They going to the Super Bowl. Like they gonna win the Super Bowl. You never hear the end of that, man. They lose 3, 4 games in a row. They got every excuse in the book, man. Especially like if you see a guy like on Undisputed like Skip Bayless, man. Every time Dallas wins a game, oh, they going to the Super Bowl, this and that. But as soon as they lose, man, he got excuses from everywhere. A couple of years ago, oh, if Sean Lee wouldn't have got hurt, oh, if Sean Lee didn't go down, we would have done this, do that, and all this other stuff. And like the fans are pretty much the same way. Like whenever things don't go right, they have a million excuses, yo. But whenever they win a little game, man, they pop up out of everywhere. I remember a couple of years ago when they went like what 13-3 was the number one seed. Every time I put it on Sports Center, they got a new celebrity Cowboy fan popping up that I ain't even know was a Cowboy fan. Funny, you don't hear from them like that no more, yo. Let's see. Like every media has said, we have a Super Bowl caliber team. Everything just hinges on Carson staying healthy, and with our O line and running back committee, that really shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I agree, man. I really think I know I get grief from people making fun of Wentz. Oh, he always hurt, he this and that, and all this other stuff. But I really believe that Wentz is going to stay healthy this year. You see, if Wentz was just like a tiny, small, fragile looking quarterback, I get the injury concerns. The thing with him is Wentz is a big guy. I just think he came into a stretch of bad luck with the ACL injury. He dove for the end zone, which I'm pretty sure he's learned. Like I seen Mahomes the other day in a preseason game. Like had that same opportunity, he went down. Like that's what we need Wentz to do. If he just learned how to protect himself better, I think last year, like he injured his back. I think he wasn't fully healthy from the knee, and it caused him to have a couple of back problems. And he was getting hit a good bit early on. But I do think he's going to stay healthy this year, and I really think he's going to ball. And I don't see, unless it's just the ball don't bounce our way, I don't see why this team can't contend for a Super Bowl, and which is why I'm extremely excited about this season. I have some Cowboy fans in my neighborhood here in Maryland. Man, they everywhere. Like those Cowboy fans are everywhere, yo. Like if you go somewhere and stay there for a week, you gonna run into a Cowboy fan somewhere. They just everywhere, always. Especially now they feel like they got a good team. Oh, you gonna hear from them now. But let them get off to a bad start or let them not be doing well. You know they gonna kind of go back into their little cubby hole hiding, yo. Hell, I'm in Texas, and hey, they are claiming Super Bowl, and the season haven't even started. Yeah, they something, yo. Those Cowboy fans are something, yo. Like and I just can't believe how they really think that Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. Now, granted, it's a couple of Cowboy fans I know that keep it real. That be like, look, I know he ain't all that, but he my quarterback and I love him, which is I respect that. But when people up there trying to say, oh, he better than Carson Wentz and oh, his QBR and all this other nonsense, it's like, man, come on, bro. You got eyes. You watch football. Only thing that somebody could say Prescott has over Wentz is he hasn't got injured. Like that's the only thing somebody could say that Prescott has over Wentz. But I just can't get over how they really think that guy is a great quarterback, yo. What's up, Ruku3? Appreciate you tuning into the live feed. Appreciate the support. Let's see. Hold on. What's your opinion on UGA fans crying about being left out of the playoffs last year? I mean, they should have handled their business. You know, they they came to Death Valley to play LSU. They was arrogant, they was cocky. They just knew they had the game won. They up there doing fake field goals in the first quarter, and they got smacked in the mouth. And they going up against Alabama. Obviously, if they win that game, they would have gotten the playoffs and they blew it. They let Jalen Hurts come off the bench and just really stick it to him. Then they tried a boneheaded fake punt in the fourth quarter. Like, that's on them. Like, they gotta, they could cry all they want, but they had an opportunity. They had two games that they could have won. Now, granted, I get it. The SEC is very hard. I get it. It's not like the ACC or, the Big 12 and all these other conferences. So I get it that it's a little tough. But at the end of the day, they had to handle their business and they came up short. So they should have been left out of the playoffs. They could cry all they want. I'm still a little mad, upset how they came to Death Valley, just did not respecting us. I was at the Ravens versus Cowboy. Oh, hold on. Game in 2012 in which the Ravens won 31-29 because Dallas missed the game-winning field goal. Wasn't that also the game that the Ravens had recovered an onside kick late? They was down by a good bit, and they recovered an onside kick also and then scored again. Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure that was a very entertaining game to be a part of, yo. And did Ray Lewis play? I think is that the game Ray Lewis got hurt. I think that was. But yeah, that was a pretty entertaining game, yo, that you got to experience there. And I always love when anybody beat up on the Cowboys. Let's see, Thunder, Cowboys, and Rangers. Oh boy. Just to let you know, man, I don't like the Cowboys. I can't stand them, but I respect them. I respect them. I have fun with their fans, man. And the Thunder, that's a little tough right now, man. I know losing Westbrook, losing Paul George, losing Durant a few years ago. I know that's a little tough, man. But I tell you what, in like 4 to 5 years with all these draft picks, man, the Thunder gonna have a squad, man. So you hang in there, yo. You hang in there because the Thunder will have a squad in the future. And the Rangers, they're solid. It's so unfortunate, man. Like I really wish the Rangers would have won a World Series back in the day. Oh, I never forget, man, that game with that game 6 when they played the Cardinals, and they was like one strike away from the World Series twice, and they just couldn't close it out, man. It was so unfortunate. which Ron Washington, who was the Rangers manager, is actually my Atlanta Braves third base coach now, yo. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I really wanted to see the Rangers get that World Series, man. Because I like Ron Washington. Josh Hamilton, I liked his story. All the adversity he went through and everything that he had came from, and especially I think that season they had the unfortunateness of he had threw a ball in the stands, a fan had reached and they had passed away, unfortunately, tragically. So I really was rooting for the Rangers in that World Series, but they just came up short, man, unfortunately. Do you think Daniil Hunter would be this good when he got to the NFL? Honestly, I did not. Like I did not, yo. And I'm an LSU fan, so I watched Daniil Hunter a lot. Like it's funny because Daniil Hunter didn't have great production at LSU. It's like what he was most known for is that he had like this Hulk type of body. Like he looked like an action figure, you know. But he didn't have like great production at LSU. I knew he would get drafted in the mid rounds just because of his potential and his physical features. But it's a credit to the Minnesota it's a credit to the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff, and it's a credit to Daniil Hunter, man, for getting the best out of him, yo. I'm proud of Daniil Hunter, man. I see he was a Pro Bowl. I seen he was like number 57, I think, on the NFL top 100 list. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think he was gonna be that good. You know what I'm saying? And he's something serious. He the Vikings' best pass rusher right now, yo. Shout out to Daniil Hunter. I'm glad he's doing this thing up there. I know Georgia is great, but they would not have passed the first round. Clemson and Bama were on fire. Yeah, I agree. They would have got their issue against Clemson or Bama, which I ain't gonna lie, Georgia Clemson matchup would have been pretty interesting to see though. That would have been a nice, a fun little matchup there. But I think Clemson would have took it to them also though. But they got another chance this year. They got a lot of hype this year. I want to say they like a top three team coming into the season. They lost. My concern with them is they lost so many receivers on that offense, but they have Jake Fromm over there, and they have Kirby Smart in their defense. They got some big matchups. Obviously, early on they got Notre Dame at home, which I think they should run through Notre Dame. But we gonna see, yo. Let's see. What's up, Patricia Wilborn? Appreciate you tuning into the live. Chop on as always. Hey, Mr. Dugas, do you think we'll see Kyler Murray play this season? Yeah, like I think he is the starter. Yo, I think he the starter in Arizona, hands down. I think he did pretty good the other night. I didn't get to see too much of the game because the Eagles game was still going on when he was out there. But I seen like a couple of highlights of him, and he looked pretty good out there. Obviously it's an offense that he's very extremely familiar with. So I think I actually think Arizona gonna have a good season. I don't think they make the playoffs or nothing like that, but I think when the year over, I think a lot of Cardinals fans are going to be, satisfied with what they saw and think that their future is going to be pretty bright. Thunder's future is bright. Yeah, their future really is bright. Like, I mean, with all those draft picks, man. I mean, like I said, just hang in there, just hang in there. When the dust settles and all these teams start getting old and all these superstars, start retiring, the Thunder have if they hit on these draft picks, the Thunder have every chance to be a great team in a few years from now, yo. I'm a Washington Capitals fan. That's what's up. I know you was happy. What that was the season? Not this year because it was the St. Louis Blues. But was it last year that they won the Stanley Cup? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't watch too much hockey. I try to tune in when it's the Stanley Cup going on. But I know that this year the Blues had beat the Bruins this year. I checked that out. That was pretty cool, man. The comeback story for the Blues, yo. Doing their thing. They was a worst place team going in the first and winning it. But I think it was the year before last, and I know they had a lot of history of kind of choking in the playoffs with Alex Ovechkin. But shout out to them for getting that Stanley Cup a couple of years ago, yo. What's up, Brandon Reese? Appreciate you tuning into the live feed as always. What's up, Mr. Dugas? Do you think is more pressure? Oh, hold on. There's more pressure to win a championship at some point, Matt Ryan or Cam? Uh, that's a great question. I think a little more pressure is on Matt Ryan simply because he's been in the league a little longer than Cam. Um, and Atlanta got a good team. Like, especially the fact that the way both players lost their Super Bowls were not very pretty. Cam, obviously, he got a bad rep for not diving on that fumble whenever they had that fumble in that Super Bowl against Denver. A lot of people have been very critical of him of that. And basically feeling like he doesn't really focus on football a lot. So there's some pressure on Cam. But with Matt Ryan, man, I mean, like I said, he's been in the league what 3 years, 3 years, what 5 years longer than Cam, I want to say. And that Super Bowl loss was bad. When you up 28-3, you know what I'm saying, against a team with that type of offense you had, you got to put that team away. And last year, obviously they got the now I ain't gonna say excuse because it's a legit argument with all the injuries they had. They got a team that should be able to do it this season. So we gonna see how they do this season, yo. But I think more pressure is on Matt Ryan and Cam for right now. Let's see. What's your season prediction for Florida this season? That's a great question. I think Florida. With Florida, I'm gonna say I think they go like 9-3, with a chance to go 10-2. I like Florida this year. I think Florida has a real shot to knock off Georgia this year. I'm gonna be tuned into them because it's crazy. They actually have a game next Saturday. They play Miami next Saturday. So I'm gonna really be tuned into that game just to kind of get a scout on them to see how they looking. But if Felipe Franks could he finished the season very strong for them last year. Dan, like that's one thing about Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen could coach, and he could definitely coach quarterbacks and offenses. And it looks like at the end of the season, Felipe Franks got a good feel for that Florida offense. And if he carry that momentum into this season, Florida has a chance to. I'm gonna say they go like 9-3, but they have a real shot to be like a 10-2 type team, and they have a shot to come out of the SEC East and go to the SEC championship game. I'm leaning towards 11-1. Is that for Florida? Like, yeah, they got a good team, man. They got a shot. I believe in Sam Presti. Maybe going forward, man. Preston, I don't think up to this point he did a great job. Was he the GM like whenever Durant, Harden, and Westbrook first came in the league? I don't remember exactly what year he got there, but I know he was there whenever they made that James Harden trade. When he traded James Harden away, man, he just basically traded a championship away. They was the Warriors before the Warriors, yo. Think about it. All three of those players have won an MVP. All three of them. And Serge Ibaka was a solid player also. I think at that time they felt like, everybody was so scared because LeBron left Cleveland high and dry. Um, so they felt like Harden was going into the last year of his deal. They felt like they had to make a move. So they traded him to Houston. I think that's a move that they've regretted ever since they did it. But yeah, like that was just really bad. But we'll see if he hits on these draft picks, and in the next 3 to 4, 5 years, they're gonna have a chance to really be a very, very, very good basketball team. With all the players LSU had the last few years, it's ridiculous that they didn't win any championships, especially with Odell and Tyron Man. I completely agree. That was our frustrations. That was our biggest frustrations with Les Miles, yo. Especially that 2011 team we had, man. When you think about it, we had Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Ruben Randall, Michael Brocker, Sam Montgomery, Barkevius Mingo, Morris Claiborne, Eric Reed, Tyron Honey Badger Matthew. We even had Drew Wing, who was one of the best punters in the country. And that team, when we go into the national championship game, man, and it's like we didn't even practice. Like it's like, oh, we gonna just roll up there and hopefully we could kick three more field goals and hold Alabama to 6 points again and win this game. After that game, I pretty much in my mind was done with Les Miles, yo. And obviously he was able to hang on for a few more years. But yeah, it is ridiculous that LSU hasn't won the championship with all the talent that we've had, yo. And it's ridiculous that we've lost to Alabama 8 straight times, man. You got teams like Texas A&M and Auburn multiple times, Ole Miss. All these teams have beaten Alabama since the last time LSU beat Alabama, yo. And that is absolutely ridiculous, yo. So yeah, I agree. It's really sad and downright pathetic that we haven't won a not a Super Bowl, won a championship with all the talent that LSU gets. But hopefully with Coach O, that's gonna turn around because this team LSU has this year is really, really good. So I'm looking forward to this season and seeing how we gonna compete this season. I still can't that the Falcons choked that. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. And shout out to my cousin Jamal Parker who was on the live earlier, who's a Patriots fan. I was out of town during that game, and I remember at halftime he called me and he said, "Man, look, we gonna come back and win this game because Tom Brady ain't going out like that." And I was just like, "All right, whatever." And lo and behold, they came back and won that game, man. Shout out to him for having the utmost confidence in his team, yo. If Florida don't beat Georgia, I think they'll be 10-2. Yeah, you pretty high on Florida this year. They got a chance, man. They got a chance. That Florida Georgia game is must see TV. I'm really looking. And what's so great about that game, I think it's if I'm not mistaken, I got to go back to double check. But I know it's usually during the week that LSU and Alabama are on a bye preparing for our matchup. So that's a great game to watch while we get ready to play each other during our bye weeks. That Florida Georgia game, because that's basically the SEC East championship game right there. What do you really expect out of our bullpen during this huge homestand? Oh man, now as bad as Saturday night was, you know, even the thing with Luke Jackson, man, Luke Jackson almost always pitches with traffic, man. Like he got the job done, he got the save Sunday, but man, we had runners on the bases, man. I'm hoping we do better, man. I'm really hoping. It's so unfortunate because it's really no answer but pitch better. you know, as we the trade deadline has done passed, so it's basically like just pitch better. So hopefully they could pitch a little better, and hopefully that we getting all this bad play out of the way now, so that whenever the postseason arrives, we do better. But I really want to see how we perform against the Dodgers this weekend because obviously this is a series that we've been waiting for a long time. We getting them at home. They're the team that we looking up at. They're the team that we measure ourselves against. So if the bullpen is not motivated to go out there and pitch great at home against the Dodgers, I will be even more concerned, yo. With them, it's just they gotta pitch better. But like I had one of my followers, put in on one of the comments. I can't remember who it was, man. I wish I remember the name to shout him out. But he thinks that we should eventually put Fulty in the bullpen and close. And I think that's actually a great idea. And I think if the bullpen hasn't figured it out by the postseason, that's something we should definitely try and putting Fulty as our closer for the postseason. Was it the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history? Yeah, it was. It was bad. I had Florida going 10-2, but I don't. But I think. Oh, let's see. But I don't think they beat Georgia. But I have been wrong before. That's a great game. I cannot wait to watch that Florida Georgia game, yo. That's the SEC East championship game right there. And I think Georgia's a little more talented, but I do think Florida has a little bit better coaching, and Florida has a real chance to knock them off this season. But I'm looking forward to that matchup between Florida and Georgia. I definitely don't think it'll be a blowout, probably by one touchdown. I think it's gonna be a great, great game, yo. I think that Florida Georgia will be a real, real great game, yo. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Martin Howman, man? Appreciate you tuning into the live, yo. Hey, appreciated you, one of my biggest followers, man. Even though you a Cowboy fan, I gotta give you a hard time for that. But appreciate the follow, man. Appreciate you always tuning in, checking in with your boy, man. And what's up with your boy Dak Prescott asking for $40 million, man? I gotta get your response to that, man. Let's see. I'm going to the games to SunTrust Park on Sunday. Oh man, Brian Dennis Stadium. I am so jealous. That is a great man. Shout out to you, man. Have a blast. Enjoy it. That is a big game to attend, man. With the Dodgers at home on a Sunday. Hopefully the weather is beautiful out there, yo. Um, and hopefully that could, at worst case scenario, hopefully it's the rubber match and giving us a chance to actually win that series to where we all could feel good after that series. Because obviously, honestly, we need to win 2 out of 3 against the Mets. The Mets have been extremely, extremely hot lately. So we got to cool them off. I think they was on an 8-game win streak before the Nationals got them Sunday. So we need to cool them off, take 2 out of 3, especially the fact that we not facing DeGrom in this series and we not facing Syndergaard. So we need to take 2 out of 3 in this series. And especially we got free Keiko and Turan pitching. And obviously the Dodgers series is the series that we all can't wait to see. We went up there to LA earlier this season and they took it to us. So, and obviously it knocked us out the playoffs last year. So that's the series we really want to see, man. Shout out to you for going to that game, man. Please have a good time and let me know how that experience was like. Dak asking for 40 million. Yeah, he is, yo. I almost fell out of my seat when I seen that, man. I was kind of busy, so I didn't get a chance to make a video about that yet. I'm gonna try to do one. But yeah, I was like 40. Oh, he done lost his mind. If I was Jerry, I'd be like, you know what, Dak, have a nice day. We'll get a rookie. My guy, I got you. No way in hell he needs to be. No way he needs to be drug tested. Now, one thing I respect about Martin Howman, man, he's a Cowboy fan, and like you said, he know I can't stand them. He know I don't like them Cowboys, man. But he's one of the few Cowboy fans that honestly keeps it 100, yo. So shout out my brother on always keeping it 100 as a Cowboy fan, yo. But 40, man, boy, if I Skip and Shannon on vacation this week. But if I see Skip up there talking about they need to give Dak 40, Skip need to be drug tested and be in serious consideration of being removed from Undisputed. Yo, I ain't lying. Ohio State play trash schedules every year, then complain about their ranking in the SEC. Yeah, man. I mean the Big Ten, man, ain't really been that solid lately, man. Basically, it really, especially on the other division, man. Like, their division is pretty tough with Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State. That division is a pretty competitive division. But the other side has just been weak and lackluster, man. So yeah, like the thing about the SEC, man, is that the SEC is solid. Now it's been the bottom feeders in the SEC have been kind of down, but I mean, I think this year, man, this is the first time I think they said, and I forgot how many years that there's every coach is returning in the SEC. There's no new coaches in the SEC this year. So every coach done been there at least a year, got a chance to run his system, to figure out what he wants to do with his program. So yeah, yo, the Ohio State does complain like but you don't go out there and take on and play against a Purdue team and lose by almost 30 points. If you want to make the playoffs, you don't lose by almost 30 to Purdue, yo, on the road. And it's unfortunate for them because it's unfortunate for Ohio State and Georgia. Because I think in Ohio State, Alabama, and a Georgia Clemson semifinal last year would have been must see TV. That would have been two great games to watch. But I mean, they fell short, So I mean, you gotta go out there and win. You go out there and win and handle your business. The committee will basically give you what you deserve for the most part. Thank you, my brother. It's all good, my brother. I told some of those Buckeyes that Urban was gonna quit on them. Now they're starting to have whispers now that don't be surprised that in a year or two you could see Urban Meyer ending up at USC now. Which obviously that would not surprise me one bit because I do think Clay Helton is definitely on the hot seat at USC. I feel like Sam Darnold actually bought him an extra couple of years, to be able to coach. So it's really time. It wouldn't surprise me, man. Urban, man. Urban, like, oh, I'm sick. Then he leaves. Then he ends up with a great job. Then it's like, oh, I'm sick. Then he leaves. He ends up. It would not surprise me if Urban Meyer ended up with that USC job next year at one bit. But yeah, they should have known with his track record, man, that at some point he was gonna want to bounce and try something different. You know, let's see. How do you think Justin Fields will do at Ohio State? I think he's gonna do really well. Obviously he's a very, very extremely talented quarterback who was the number one recruit, even higher than Trevor Sunshine Lawrence. Um, and Ohio State has, even though Urban Meyer's not there, Ryan Day is there. He has a little experience and he's been the OC over there. So I think he's going to put him in position to use his skill sets, to use his talent. He has talent all over the place. Ohio State is one of the few non-SEC schools that recruits like a SEC school. When you just think of that team they had when they beat Alabama and beat Oregon for the championship, man, you had Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, like Eli Apple, Joey Bosa. I mean, my goodness, all these guys were first round draft picks. So yeah, I think Justin Fields is gonna do pretty good over there, man. With his talent. Shout out to Jake Fromm though for beating out two highly touted quarterbacks to keep that Georgia job. Let's see. Hold on. I will laugh if Ohio State keeps losing to unranked opponents in blowout fashion. That was bad. They got nobody to blame but themselves. You don't lose to unranked. Now, granted, now Purdue was a very emotional night for them, so I get it. I understand them playing with a lot of emotion, but at the same time, you don't lose that bad, on the road to that team. Like, I mean, I remember watching that game. Like, man, they really blowing them out, like, and they known for doing that every once in a blue moon, losing a game they have no business doing. Wasn't it what a couple of years ago? I want to say when they went when it was Iowa, they went on the road and got blown out too. Also, so yeah, like as long as they losing games like that, they got nobody to blame for themselves for being left out of the playoffs. Let's see. Don't want to agree or disagree. Everybody is a big time quitter. Yeah, Urban pretty bad, man. Especially the way he left Florida high and dry. Like he just, oh, that's it. Like, oh, I'm done. Then bam, a year later you at Ohio State. Like just 1 year later, when Florida basically was starting, Tebow was gone, and Florida was starting to come back to the pack a little bit. So yeah, it was pretty bad. If Michigan gets choked and out choke slam, oh hold on. If Michigan gets choke slam, Ohio State misses out on the conference championship again. Should Harbaugh be coaching for his job in 2020 and beyond? The funny thing is, I don't think they're gonna fire him because I think he gonna basically beat up on all the other Big Ten opponents. But the pressure with this Michigan versus Ohio State game this year will be the biggest game of Jim Harbaugh's career so far at Michigan because now Urban Meyer is gone. Not only is Urban Meyer gone, Jim Harbaugh made it his business to take a couple of parting shots at Harbaugh on his way out of the door at Ohio State. They get him at home. Though I really personally believe in Justin Fields. Obviously, he is a young unproven quarterback on in the college football level, playing on the road in the big house in a hostile environment. So yeah, Harbaugh has to win that game, yo. He has to win that game. He lose that game, these Michigan people are gonna start coming for his head, yo. I really believe that. What your favorite NBA team? My favorite NBA team is the Miami Heat. That's my boys. Love to pick up a Jimmy Butler. Obviously, we not one of the top. I think the Heat are a playoff team this year, but we not one of the top echelon teams in the Eastern Conference. But I'm looking forward to that free agent class in a couple of years. I think by us having Jimmy Butler over there, and I think eventually we're gonna get some players to come over there and play with him, and we're gonna be back up there and trying to compete to hopefully come out of the East like everyone else in the top of the East. Brian controversy fires Urban everywhere he goes. I don't really think. Oh, hold on. I don't really think he quits. I think he gets caught in the crap everywhere he goes and leaves. I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. That's something that, even though I felt like Jim Harbaugh had no business saying that, but Jim Harbaugh basically told everybody that about him. Like, he got trouble everywhere he go. So, and maybe that is the thing that he feels like pressure is coming on, maybe from the NCAA, and then he grabs his bag and he leaves, yo. Nice. Mine's is the Raptors. Hey, shout out to your Raptors on getting that championship, yo. I know y'all may be a little bummed that Kawhi left, but I mean, I wouldn't even focus on that too much, yo. Appreciate and celebrate that championship, yo. That was big time, yo. And they still got players over there, man. Kyle Lowry's still over there. Pascal Siakam over there. I think he gonna be get passing the torch now to really carry that organization. So yeah, shout out to the Raptors for that, yo. I think they still gonna be a decent team. So I know and I love the Jurassic Park whole experience. Now I didn't like those people cheering when Durant got hurt, but besides that, man, I like how Raptors fans really support their team. I still remember Michigan losing to Appalachian State. Man, I remember that was so bad. I remember that because that's the year that season LSU won the national championship. And I remember we played Mississippi State on a Thursday and we had beat them like 41 to nothing or something like that. And that Saturday, I remember I went through something. I forgot what I did. But I came back home and it wasn't really no intriguing games on yet. So I took a nap and I woke up. And when I woke up, I fell asleep with the channel on ESPN News. And when I woke up, they was talking about like, yo, like Appalachian State. But then I think Manningham, right when I woke up, I think it was Mario Manningham had caught a big pass and Michigan was like in the red zone. So everybody like, well, Michigan gonna win this game. So I'm watching. I was just surprised the score was that close. And then I seen the block kick and I'm like, oh snap. Like that was one of the biggest upsets, man, because Michigan was a top five team that's going into that season. Everybody thought Michigan had a real shot at the national championship. And Appalachian State, though they was successful, they was what was it even called FCS then? I think it was called something else at the time. And they went in there and beat them, man. Like that was incredible. Then of course the following year, Appalachian State came to Death Valley for the season opener. And we handled our business. Like we ain't going out like Michigan. But yeah, and not only did they lose to them, I think they got blown out at home to Oregon like the following week. So like, yeah, I remember that, man. That was pretty crazy. And I was just at awe of that going down the way it did. I'm from Alabama. We don't have proteins. I pull for Atlanta and pro sports. Hey, if you a Braves fan, man, check me out on these Braves videos, man. I'm a big time Braves fan, man. Ever since they used to play every day on TBS back in the day, man. Love my Braves, yo. Let's see. I still can't get over ESPN predicting LSU to lose to Miss. That was bad. Like that literally made me fall out of my chair. Okay, picking us to lose to Alabama. Okay, I understand it. Like I said, even though I feel like LSU fans, we feel like we got a shot this year. But we can't argue with anybody picking us to lose that game. If they're the pickers to lose at Texas, I'm like, okay, they got us losing on the road against a top 10 team in a unfamiliar place that we playing in. So I understand it and I get it. You feel me? But for us to even Florida, like it's like, okay, Florida at home, I get it, yo. But Mississippi State on the road with no Dan Mullen, no Ty Grantham. I don't understand it at all. I don't get it. It's like we don't want to put y'all 11-1, so we gonna say y'all losing to somebody. Oh, yo, Martin Howe, my boy, man. I appreciate the super chat donation, man. That is my first ever super chat donation, man. I greatly, greatly appreciate that, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. Appreciate that a whole lot, my brother. And you a Cowboy fan, man, but you all right. You all right, my brother. I'm a terrible pro sports fan. I pull for the Braves, but I do watch the Falcons. Yeah, man. If you watch the Dwayne, if you're a Falcons fan, man, there's two people. I don't know if you already follow them, but there's Mad Mike Sports and there's Sports Live ATL. They are two Falcon YouTubers, man. They do a pretty good job, yo. If you want to just check out some Falcons videos, man, go check them out, man. Sports Live in the ATL. He does Braves videos like me also. So yeah, y'all go and give him a subscribe and check them out. Check them out, man. If you're a Falcons fan, those guys do a pretty good job, yo. I remember Arkansas was ranked 8 and lost to UL Remote. Oh, I remember that too, man. I remember that. That was the whole year with the whole Bobby Petrino motorcycle incident. And they had this other guy come in and Arkansas was expected to do big things that year, going into that season. They had who was their quarterback, man? Gosh, who was their quarterback, man? It wasn't what that guy name is, man. I think he number 8. Was he number 8? I think he got drafted in the NFL. I think he went to the Raiders, I think. And he didn't really do too well. But I forgot who they caught. I can't believe I forgot that quarterback name. But yeah, they had their quarterback back. They had a lot of their skilled people back. They had LSU and Alabama at home. Then Bobby Petrino got in that incident with with the woman on the motorcycle. And then yeah, UL Monroe went up there. Shout out to UL Monroe. Went up there and knocked them off. And then I remember when Alabama went there because I went to the LSU. I went to that LSU played Idaho that night, and I went to the LSU Idaho game, and I didn't see the game, but I seen the score, and I'm like, wow, like Alabama beat them like 52-0. And I remember the guy was like, whoever he was, man, the interim coach was like telling everybody to smile or something like that. I'm like, bro, you just lost 52-0, man. Who about to smile right now, man? You done lost your mind. Yeah, I remember that, man. That was crazy. Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen. Was that him? Or was that no, I think Brandon Allen was after him. I can't remember that guy name, man. I'm gonna have to go look that guy up, man. He was a good quarterback because I remember Arkansas offense was like really, really good. I think it was the guy before Brandon. I may be wrong, but I think it was the guy before Brandon Allen. I think he was number 8. I think his number was 8. And everybody expecting him like it's on the thing. It's like whenever I'm off of this live feed, just chilling, watching the Braves game, it'll pop in my head. Like, but right now I can't remember that guy's name. But they came back with a loaded team, yo, and they felt and like it was just a terrible season. I remember Appalachian State nearly beat Penn State last year in College State. Yeah, Appalachian State is a pretty good a football program, man. I see them a little bit because they in the Sun Belt. They in the Sun Belt Conference now, yo. But yeah, and then they won the Sun Belt last year, I believe. Yeah, they did because they beat UL Lafayette. But yeah, Appalachian State has given a lot of people scares over the years, man. When you schedule them, you better come correct. Those guys are going to play another team now. It's like North Dakota State. Before last, I think last year I think they fell short of like their championship. But before that, they would go out and knock off a lot of people. So yeah, these schools like that, man, you play them, you gotta come correct. UCF gave LSU all we had. We wanted in the Fiesta Bowl. Bobby Petrino, let's see. Bobby Petrino wrecked the motorcycle with his mistress on the back. That was the end of his stay. Yeah, I remember him being in the press conference with the neck braids, just like I'm like, because I know a few Arkansas fans, man, and like I know as far as like chat and from chat rooms and stuff, and like yeah, their heart was broken, man. Like their heart was really broken because Bobby Petrino was the best thing they had there in a while, basically since Houston Nut. So they took it pretty tough, man, when Petrino was out of there. But Petrino just has done some real crazy stuff, man. Then the way he left at the Atlanta Falcons, man, in the middle of the night, basically, and went to a press conference in Arkansas the next morning. Like he's done some pretty kind of shady stuff over the years. I was glad when LSU really blew out Louisville in that bowl game a couple of years ago with Lamar Jackson out there. Yeah, Ryan Mallett was there too, but I think it was the guy. I remember Ryan Mallett. I think it was the guy right after Ryan Mallett, yo. I can't remember this guy's name, man. I'm gonna have to look it up, man. But I bet whenever I'm watching the bridge tonight and minding my business, I bet it's gonna pop in my head. I swear, if Ozzy goes first or second and hits a home run like these past 5 games, I'm gonna be hyped. Man, I love Ozzy, man. I love Ozzy. I love Acuna. I love all those guys. Man, Snit has to keep Ozzy in that two hole, man. I know. What's up with Dansby, man? Dansby been out for like I'm hearing his heel is still giving them problems, man. We gonna need Dansby out there for the stretch run in the postseason, man. I felt like we really missed them last season against the Dodgers in the playoffs. Um, Now you gotta keep Ozzy in that two hold on whenever Swanson comes back. Whenever Swanson comes back, like me, my ideal lineup, I'll have Acuna first, Ozzy second, Freeman third, Donaldson cleanup. Um, I like McCann. I'll do McCann fit, since he's just a veteran. Now the outfield, whenever Marquez gets back, I gotta see how we gonna do this. Are we gonna roll with Acuna, Marquez, and Duval? Or are we gonna roll with Acuna, Marquez, and Inciarte because he's such a great center fielder and he's also been hitting the ball really, really good too. Had that 3-run home on Sunday. But I think Swanson should hit like sixth or seventh, man. You gotta keep Ozzy in that two hole. And like especially him and Ronald, like they two young, energetic, always joking around type of guys. I love seeing them like hit behind each other. I feel like you got to keep Ozzy in that two hole. But yeah, if they hit some homers tonight, yo, I'll be hyped also. Let's see. Arkansas has become the Kentucky of the SEC. Yeah, Arkansas is not looking good for Arkansas, man. Now granted, I understand we gotta give what's it, Chad, his name, Chad Morris, I think. We gotta give him a little time, but when you look at the West, when you got the LSU's and Alabamas and Auburn's and Texas A&M now, um, they up there with they around there down with the Ole Miss and Mississippi State, man. Arkansas, it's pretty bad for Arkansas right now, yo. I must say. Let's sweep the Mets. I don't like the way you feel about Bama. Yeah, we should. I hope we sweep the Mets, man. We ain't swept. What was the last team we swept? The last team we swept was the Padres. I remember right off of the All Star break. But it's been a while since we swept somebody. You right. That would be great to sweep them to get them kind of off of their high horse because they coming in feeling really good about themselves right now after climbing back in this playoff hunt. But yeah, let's go out there sweep. I'll be satisfied with 2 out of 3. But I would love a sweep against them, getting ready for that huge Dodger series. And I'm sorry when it comes to Bama. Hey, I don't like them. I can't stand them. I'm jealous. You got my coach who brought the program back to life. He went to y'all and y'all kicking my butt with my coach. So it's like, and you get some of my best players in Louisiana. So as an LSU fan, Alabama has been a thorn in our side. But it's out of respect though. I have the absolute respect for that program, man. They got some great players over there, and obviously Saban is a great college coach, yo. So it's out of love, it's out of respect, yo. But yeah, I can't stand Bama, yo. Uh, I'm tired of some of these Jim Harbaugh apologists on TV always making excuses for him. He has to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten at some point, especially when you have the type of talent he had. I absolutely agree with you. Um, the media sure does love you. Not lying about the media. The media sure does love them some Jim Harbaugh, man. Um, Obviously, he was a great coach at Stanford. He was a great coach, I believe, with the 49ers. But at Michigan, he's come up short to this point. And I mean, nobody want to sit there and acknowledge it, but he's come up short. Like you have to beat Ohio, just like LSU has to beat Alabama at some point. Michigan has to beat Ohio State, especially when Urban Meyer is gone and you get them at home. And especially after you've been running your mouth the way you've been running your mouth and popping off, you have to beat them. Like I completely agree. Harbaugh does get a lot of love from the media. If this was Lloyd Carr or this was Brady Hoke, people would have been calling for, like, people in the media would have been calling for those guys' job. Or if this was Rich Rodriguez, people would have been calling for their job. But the media does have a love affair with Jim Harbaugh. So like, yeah, he has been getting a pass, I believe, from the media also. If LSU goes 11-1, do you think they go to the playoffs or the Sugar Bowl? Oh, they in the playoffs. If LSU is 11-1, LSU is in the college football playoff. I don't. Obviously, it's gonna be them. Obviously, if depending on who that one loss is, if it's Alabama, it'll be like probably us and Alabama or somebody. But if LSU goes 11-1 and they one losses to like probably like a Bama on the road in a competitive game, LSU, I mark my words, LSU will be in the college football playoff. It'll be LSU, probably like whoever win the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, whoever, Clemson out of the ACC, and I believe LSU because especially if LSU beats Texas, you know, yeah, if they beat Texas, then it's like, yeah, like they already proven that they beat one of the Big 12's best on the road. So yeah, I think if we 11-1, we definitely are in the playoffs. Let's see. I can't stand the South Carolina Gamecock. Yeah, Clemson and South Carolina has had a little rivalry, which Clemson has totally turned that thing around, man. I remember like years ago, South Carolina was kind of running that rivalry when Spurrier was there. But Clemson is like dominant, even though South Carolina put up a little few points on them last year, but Clemson has been dominating that rivalry, and that is a very underrated rivalry in college football, also between Clemson and South Carolina. Most of the top high school football players from Arkansas don't go to Arkansas. Yeah, like that's unfortunate for them, man. I think basketball neither. Some of the top basketball players. I remember like when Malik Monk went to Kentucky. Um, yeah, I think the last big time Arkansas guy that stayed was I think it was Darren McFadden. I remember when a lot of hype was about Darren McFadden staying at Arkansas. So that's unfortunate, man. But that's something Chad Morris got to work on, man. When you got to work on that, if you gotta keep your best players in your state in state the best you can. I have a lot of respect for LSU. If those guys playing on the road like they do at home, they would be in the playoffs every year. Yeah, the thing with us, unfortunately, is Alabama is the one team that comes to Death Valley and just isn't intimidated by it at all. But everybody else, we pretty much do handle our business at home in Death Valley, yo. Yeah, man, LSU. I think LSU got a really good team this year. I cannot wait to see us play this year. I'm actually gonna try to hit like a couple of games this season, yo. Yeah, man, and it's funny because when I talk to Alabama fans, man, I used to do some all field work, so I would work with a lot of people like from Alabama, and we would get to talking, and they would always tell me, like, man, believe it or not, they would always be fearful of the LSU game just because of the talent that LSU have. They said LSU was one of the few teams in the country that could have looked Alabama eye to eye from a talent perspective. But obviously, just underwhelming coaching. At the end of Les Miles' tenure, and so far we just haven't been able to keep up. Yeah, we skill for skill, we there, but we haven't been able to keep up on the line of scrimmage, man. So hopefully that this year, that all gonna change, and hopefully we play better on the road. Obviously, we got a big road test right out the gate, week 2, going to Texas, Arlington to take on Texas. So I'm looking forward to that matchup, yo. Skip Bayless, Kyle Hurd, Joel Clapp, Nick Wright, and Jason McIntyre are the Jim Harbaugh cheerleaders. I agree, man. Especially you're right, especially on that Fox station, man. They love them because they mostly carry those Big Ten games. So like, yeah, they like they love him some Jim Harbaugh, man. And it's unfortunate because if that was any other coach losing Ohio State the way that he be losing Ohio State, they would have been trying to run that coach out of Michigan, yo. What if Georgia went 11-1, lost to Florida, and also sneak in 3 SEC teams, right? Hey, that's a great point. Also, now the problem with that is now if Georgia goes, it would be cool if say obviously for me it'll be cool if LSU is 12-1, Alabama 11-1. But let's just say Alabama would be 12-0 and LSU would be 11-1, only lost to Alabama. Say Georgia would be 12-0 and Florida, well, no, that you see that can't be because LSU and Florida play each other. So obviously one of us would have 2 losses. So well, there goes my theory. But I was gonna say it would have been something that if LSU didn't play Florida, it would have been something that if you would have had LSU and Florida sitting with LSU, Florida, and say Georgia all with 1 loss and Alabama undefeated, who would the SEC leave? Who would they leave out? Obviously, all 4 of the teams would be deserving, but who would they leave out though? That would be pretty cool to see. Got ahead the word. Great content. Keep doing your thing. Salute. Hey man, I appreciate Martin Howman, and once again, thank you so much, man, for the super chat. My first ever super chat. Donation, man. I greatly appreciate that, man. And catch up with you soon, my brother. What's up, Jazzy Princess 333? Appreciate you tuning into the live feed. Who's more likely to win the NFC East, New York Giants or Washington Redskins? I actually think the Giants gonna be better than the Redskins this year. I know a lot of people are down on the Giants, and I don't think the Giants will be great by any means. I think it's either the Eagles or Cowboys to win that division. But the Giants have more weapons than people think, man. Obviously, everybody know about Saquon Barkley. But when you think about, if Golden Tate passes his appeal, which we still waiting to hear from that, and Sterling Shepard gets back healthy, and with Russell Shepard, there's some decent wide receivers and a really good tight end in Evan Ingram, yo. So the thing with them obviously is Eli Manning. Will he be able to get those guys the ball on a consistent basis? But with the Washington Redskins, even though I like Dwayne Haskins a lot, you obviously I think my boy Darius Geis from LSU gonna do well over there. But I don't like the Washington Redskins receivers. I don't think their receivers are that good. So I would actually go with the Giants over the Redskins. Nobody wants to play LSU in Death Valley at night. Trust me, I'm a Bama fan. Man, I can't tell. Like, I can't tell, man. Now, 2 years ago, it was very challenging, man. It was a 10-0 game. But last year, it's like they ain't even phase y'all at all. Y'all coming there 29-0 skunkers, man. So I can't tell. I ain't gonna lie, man. Let's see. Do you watch hockey? Not much. I do watch the Stanley Cup though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really keep up with hockey during the rec. Now I know what's going on, by basically watching ESPN and seeing them talk about the standings and stuff and what's going on in the playoffs. And I know some of the, not all, but some of the big names out there. The Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkins, and those guys. But I do watch a little bit of the Stanley Cup Finals though. I'm not gonna lie. I seen the St. Louis Blues beat the Boston Bruins last year. I pulled for the Blues. I was glad they got that done. Especially a team that went through a lot of adversity, being a last place team and coming in and winning it. Plus Boston got enough championships. Like the Red Sox won, the Patriots won. They got enough championships over there. So yeah, I watch the Stanley Cup Finals, but I don't really keep up with it too much. Besides that though, I still hear a lot of people. Oh, let's see. I still hear a lot of people say that Texas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech will come to the SEC someday. Would those be your four choices when the Big 12 falls apart? I would love to see Texas and Oklahoma. Obviously, that would be, especially if you was to throw them in the SEC West. Oh my goodness, like that would just be must see Hollywood TV all day long. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. I think I would prefer to see West Virginia. Probably West Virginia and what's another Big 12 team I think I'd like to see on the East. I'd like to see West Virginia in the SEC East, and I would like to see that's a good one. Dang, that's a good one. I guess I'll have to say a team like I guess maybe I know they ain't been great lately, but I guess Iowa State. You probably have like an Iowa State and a West Virginia in the SEC East. So if that does happen, I would love to see Texas and Oklahoma in the West, and Ohio not Ohio State. I mean West Virginia and Iowa State in the East. His appeal got rejected. Oh, it did. Oh man, that's unfortunate. I see. Thanks for letting me know that. Jazzy print 333 because I didn't even know that yet. Yeah, that is unfortunate for Golden Tate, man, because now granted, you do gotta tell somebody and communicate with them on what's going on, but I mean, he's taking a fertility drug, man, and him and his wife was trying to have a kid, man. So, I actually do feel bad for him. Now, luckily, it's just 4 games, and those 4 games I think will go by a little quick. So I think those 4 games will go by quick, and he'll be out there. Let's see. You don't think that deserves 40 million? Uh, how how Kyle used to say that on My Wife and Kids? No, like no man. I couldn't have been in that negotiating room, man. If I'm running the Dallas Cowboys, and if Dak came in my office and be like, "Hey, I wouldn't even offer him 30. That's just me. But say I was generous enough and in the giving mood to offer him 30. And he was like, nah, I don't want that, I want 40. If I was the Dallas Cowboys organization, I would say, you know what, Dak, have a nice day. You play your little rookie year out, and bye bye. We're gonna get a rookie quarterback. Ain't no way I'm giving you 40 million. You're not that great. You haven't even been on the players top 100 list 2 years in a row. I ain't giving you no $40 million, man. I'm sorry. Ain't no way. But like, nah, he don't deserve it. But I think it's funny because I can't wait to see how that play out with Dallas as an Eagles fan too. Let's see. As much as I dislike LSU, I'm honestly glad they busted UGA after that field goal early. Man, that had made me so upset, Brian Dennis Stadium. I'm sitting on watching this game, and we go down. We had a good play on. We hit Terrence Marshall on a couple of passes, set up for a field goal. They running Elijah Holyfield, who was just running over our safeties, and they're getting field goal ran. So I'm thinking, all right, it's gonna be a 3-3 game. We in for a ball game. And they faked that field goal, and I'm like, hold up, man. Like, y'all in Death Valley, man. You don't disrespect us. They came in all cocky and arrogant, man. Like, they had a lot of fans that came to Baton Rouge, yo. And they just came in extremely cocky and extremely arrogant. Just felt they was what, the number 2 team in the country. We was just coming off of a loss on the road to Florida. So they just, they feel like, oh, this they felt like this was light work for them. Like, nah, that had made me very upset after that. And I'm glad that we took it to them after that also, yo. I'm very glad we took it to them after that. Yeah, that had kind of made me upset. Tell us how you really feel about Dak. I mean, now shout out to him. He a Louisiana guy, and he went to Mississippi State. His second, not his last year because we beat him, but the last time he came to Death Valley, and he took it to us. He took it to LSU, man. But like, and shout out to him for a successful rookie year. But 40 million, like, man, nah, man, they couldn't put me in that negotiation room, man, because he would have want to fist fight me. because I would have kept it real with him. Let's see. Clemson football had not played the Florida Gators since 1961. Yo, that would be an intriguing matchup, also, man. Not just Clemson, Georgia, but seeing Clemson play Florida, that would be a pretty good matchup to watch, also, yo. Maybe they should set themselves up a home and home series. I was happy. Yeah, I'm glad y'all was happy to see that, man, because that was just like I was just very I was very I don't think out of everything, the two things last season as an LSU fan that ticked me off more than anything was that when Georgia faked that field goal, and when that guy from UCF after Jambalaya Joe Burrow got completely blindsided on the interception he threw, this guy from UCF walking over him, trash talking him while he's hurt on the ground. Those two things extremely made me upset, and I'm glad both those games, Burrow came back and just took it to him, and our team took it to him and got both those wins from two teams who came into the game just feeling like they was just confident and we wouldn't really all that, yo. Let's see. I thought they actually crossed the first down line. Did they from? Nah, they didn't. Nah, they was short. Like that line you see was the line of scrimmage line, cause they did fumble also, and Devin White had recovered the fumble, but they like Grant Delpit. Like that's why I love Grant Delpit, man. I think he's the best safety in college football, but he diagnosed that play extremely quickly. Right when they pitched it, he was like right there at the line waiting on the. So he hit him like right at the line of scrimmage. Not only was it fourth down, it was 4th and 8. It wouldn't. I could see if it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. So you telling me you think your kicker gonna get 8 yards? Nah, man, that was just pretty disrespectful, yo. It was fun watching Georgia get blown out by LSU. I enjoyed that day also, man. I really enjoyed taking it to them and sending their cocky, arrogant selves back to Athens. I really enjoyed that, yo. It also made the Bama versus LSU game more exciting instead of them having two losses and no chance. Yeah, it was very appealing because I think what y'all was number one. I think we was number three going into that game. So well, it made the hype of the game exciting. Obviously the game wasn't exciting at all on my end. I'm pretty sure it was very exciting for you. It wasn't exciting at all on my end, especially knowing we didn't have Devin White in the first half. But Patrick Queen did. I think Patrick Queen played a good game in the first half for Devin White, man. The problem was offensively, we just couldn't do nothing at all, yo. Based on their teams, who do you think has a better chance to win a championship? Andy Reid, Dan Quinn. Let's see. Andy Reid, Dan Quinn, Ron Rivera, or Doug Marrone in Jacksonville. I'm gonna say Andy Reid. Andy Reid has the best team and has a chance to win a Super Bowl. I felt bad as an Eagles fan. I want to see not anytime soon because I want my Eagles to keep trying to win Super Bowls. But if the Eagles get knocked off, obviously, I want to see Andy Reid deserves to get a Super Bowl, man. And I think eventually he will get one with Patrick Mahomes. I think he has the best chance out of all those teams to finally get him a ring. Uncle Lou didn't find the LSU Georgia game amusing like we did. But shout out to Uncle Lou for this though. Uncle Lou did pick LSU to win that game, yo. LSU, like when he does his for anybody who doesn't follow, man, y'all go give Uncle Lou a subscribe also, man. He's a Georgia fan. He has great YouTube, great YouTube content out there also. And he does like almost every team. He does like these season predictions. Me, I kind of do like a conference thing, but he goes even deeper than me. He goes team by team. And before last season, he actually picked Georgia to lose that game to LSU. So I gotta at least give him credit for that one. What's up, SGT Gibby? Appreciate you tuning into the live stream. I'm preparing for the Braves game also, man. I'm about to head out in a little bit to get ready for first pitch of that game. Clemson versus Alabama again this year. I mean, maybe like that's the that's the expectation. I mean, obviously they by far got the two best quarterbacks in college football by far. But yeah, man, I really I really think that they are the two best teams. Obviously, I hope LSU could get a chance to get in there, but they're the two best teams, obviously, in the field. He was screaming. He was screaming at the TV. Lou is funny. He's fun to watch. Yeah, man, he really is. And that, like I've mentioned, man, that's something I'm gonna try to do different this football season. Is I'm gonna try to go live on some of these games. Probably not the whole game, but at least like midway through the fourth quarter, I'm gonna try to go live on some of these games, yo. Before the season ends. Sergeant Gibby. Oh, my apologies, sir. Sergeant Gibby. Okay, I'm glad I know now, yo. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence is born from where I'm from. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Did you check out a couple of his games in high school? Cause I heard he was like really, really willing and dealing in high school, man. Obviously, he's doing his thing at Clemson, but I heard he was legendary at the high school he participated. He played for. What do you think needs to step up for LSU this year? That's a great question. I think it's the offensive line and the defensive line has to step up. I think we have talent all over the field. I believe in our quarterback, Jambalaya Joe Burrow. I believe in the running backs we have. I believe in the receivers and tight ends. I believe in the linebackers in the secondary. It's the offensive and defensive line. That's the difference whenever we play Alabama is we get absolutely whipped up front. We put no pressure on their quarterbacks, and we can't stop their pressure from getting to our quarterbacks, and we can't open up running lanes for our running backs to have success. I mean, we had Leonard Fournette, and what he didn't even have 100 yards total in the two games he played against Alabama, and we had like arguably one of the greatest SEC running backs ever. You know, and he couldn't get nothing going against Bama because the line of scrimmage just got dominated. So I think if our offensive line can step up this year and be physical and protect the quarterback, and if our defensive line can get after the quarterback and stuff the run, I think LSU has a chance to go as far as we want to go. Uncle Lou, that fake field goal was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was pretty bad. That made me very upset, man. I just was furious at that. Like I felt like they completely took us for granted and disrespected us, yo. But yeah, everybody, man, I'm about to head out, man. I gotta get ready to get settled in to check out this Braves game tonight versus the Mets. Hopefully we get it done. Max Fried on the mound going against Wheeler. Hopefully we get it done tonight. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the live feed. I'm gonna try to do this every Tuesday at the same time, starting around 4 p.m. Central. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a video for all my Braves fan. I'll do a video tonight, right after the Braves game tonight. So y'all tune in and holler at me for that. Let's see. I'm gonna check out these last two before I head out. Let's see. Georgia has not beaten Alabama since 2007 in Tuscaloosa, 26-23. I remember that game too. That was the Matthew Stafford game. That was a pretty cool game. If Tua doesn't win the Heisman this year, it's going to be Trevor, and it ain't even close. Yeah, I do think they're the two top favorites to in the Heisman vote. But every year, there's always somebody who comes out of nowhere, and gets it and come and be in the thing. Which SEC stadium would you want to visit? That's a great question. Um, I would like to visit Tuscaloosa one day. I would like to visit Bryant Denny Stadium one day. I know there's a lot of rich, from what I see on TV, it's a lot of rich tradition over there. I know it's a lot of festivities. They got a rabid fan base, obviously. I would like to visit Bryant Denny Stadium one day. Let's see. We got five lefties in our lineup today. Oh, we do. So let's see. That must mean I mean Albies, Freeman, NCRT, Freed. Oh yeah, well Freed of course pitching. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Let's see. I must be missing somebody. Max Freed does count because he can hit. Oh yeah, I love the way Freed hit. I actually love the fact that Freed is going to be pitching. I want Freed to be the fourth starter in the playoffs. One of the main reasons is because he gives us another bat out there. They said that Freed could have been a first round um a first round player, a hitter, if he didn't go the pitching route. So he's very extremely talented. What about me? McCann. You right. I forgot about McCann, man. Man, I love when McCann plays, man. The one negative with our Braves, man, I am not a Tyler Flowers fan, man. I'm glad we took a catcher in the first round of the MLB draft this year, man, that we could eventually bring up the ranks and get out there for, whenever McCann, obviously calls it quits, man. But man, Flowers is just I'm not a Flowers fans, man. He always try to frames his pitches, which gets the ball. A lot of time he has pass balls and he can't hit. Like he just absolutely can't hit, man. Like, and him hitting into that triple play in Minnesota drove me crazy, man. Yeah, you right, Sergeant Gibby, man. He's just bad. But I'm glad, yeah, McCann. I almost forgot about my boy B Mac, man. But all right, man. Y'all have a blessed one, man. Y'all go and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, man. I'm gonna try to give you ladies and gentlemen great content, throughout the week. Try to check me again next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Central, same time. And be on the lookout for videos during the week, man. Y'all have a blessed one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Chop on.